What's up everyone, my name is Ron from Comics and Stuff, and for today's episode we have the new Super 7 G.I. Joe Duke action figure. And just like the other figures, it comes in this military style packaging with the G.I. Joe logo right there in the middle embossed, and it has that beautiful weathering effect all throughout the package. Now when you go to the side, it says GIW1, this time DKE01, which I'm guessing stands for G.I. Joe Wave 1, Duke number 1. On the other side, it just continues the same look of that weathering, which looks beautiful, guys. I also want to say that the green on both this and the snake eyes just looks wonderful. Got that holographic kind of look at the back. More of the same design, but this time the G.I. Joe logo embossed right there. At the top, we have the Ultimates logo. At the bottom, G.I. Joe logo, Super 7 logo, Hasbro logo, legalities, barcode, and of course, time to open up the sleeve. And I'm excited to get into this figure, guys. I mean, I love Duke, and it shows him wonderfully in that plastic window with the G.I. Joe logo right above. Now heading to the back, the same command center with a nice little profile of Duke right there. But now that we went through the packaging and all of that, let's open it up and check out the figure. Alright, and here is Duke outside of the package, and he's looking very much like the Duke that I remember. Now before heading into his accessories and everything like that, let's just head into his measurements, and he stands at 7 inches, which is the exact same height as both the Cobra Commander and the Snake Eyes. Now heading into his accessories, we're first gonna go with all the hands over here. He comes with a pair of trigger hands. The ones that he come equipped with are a pair of fists. He also has a karate chopping hand. There you go. And a pointing finger hand. Now I wanted to mention, guys, that when you do change the hands, be careful losing this watch. It's a small separate piece, and yeah, it's easy to just drop and you never see it again, so be careful, be aware of that. There's also a couple of semi-gripping hands that would be useful in holding any of these accessories, including this binoculars, which got nice sculpt and everything. I mean, it looks nice, but there is no paint on it whatsoever. I mean, not even on the lens or anything like that. So that's a bummer. I mean, I like how it looks, but the fact that it doesn't got paint is a disappointment. Now, he also comes with this rifle, and again, nice sculpt. No paint though. So it is a nice green color that'll match his pants, as well as this helmet. I mean, it looks very flat, the green, both in the gun and in the helmet, lending to the cartoon look in general. And this helmet fits all of the heads, guys, in case you are wondering. Now, for these next two accessories, we've seen them before with the snake eyes. There is another rifle. I mean, there's paint on the grooves, paint on the tip, paint on the sights, paint on the handle, and paint on the stock. The colors are nice, but let me just bring the snake eyes one there. So yeah, it is reuse. As well as this walkie-talkie again. I mean, nicely detailed, got some nice sculpt and everything like that. You do see the frequencies, the little button. But again, reuse from the snake eyes, but why wouldn't they? I mean, it's walkie-talkies. They're gonna need it. Alright, let's go into the alternate heads. As you guys can see, he's got one that comes with a headset. That looks fairly nice. It looks like he's semi-talking. And there's one that's yelling, which will be good with that pointed finger hand. The yellow looked nice. The cheekbones all got a little bit of a little color to them. So that's appreciated. And guys, this just reminds me of Duke. Let's just say it. Like, it totally looks like him. So I really do dig the head sculpts. The final accessory though is this backpack. Now, I do like these straps. I mean, they look so natural, especially, you know, the one with snake eyes also looks natural, the jetpack. So I do like it. I like the sculpt. There is no shading. The paint is nicely applied though, but the shovel back there looks a little too flat into it. Like there's almost no depth. But whatever, it does look good with him on. But let's go into this Duke, and I mean, come on. I mean, come on. That screams out Duke. Guys, the flesh color looks good. As I said before, there is some color to his cheeks. There's some gauntness over there. A little bit of a dimple on that chin. A strong chin, like Duke's supposed to be. The paint is nicely applied right there on his belt as well. There's wrinkles to the pants. And it does look like there's some very, very slight shading. The boots look good as well. And yeah, like I said, this watch is a separate piece. This harness around his chest. Got some nice paint on the buckle. Got nice sculpting, all that. I like the color of the shirt. I'm not mad with how this Duke looks, is what I'm getting at, guys. Basically. But, you know, the sculpt, I'm happy. The colors, I'm happy. The articulation seems to be a problem with the wave. Let's see if it continues that trend. His head could only look back that much, forward that much. Something I want to point out, guys, also there's tail, whatever, and there's swivel. This head, though, is super loose, like really, really loose. And only one of the heads actually fits snugly, and that's the yelling head. So I'm a bit disappointed with that because it keeps popping off for no reason. His shoulders, not quite a T-pose. So that's a bummer. It does give you the full 360 though. Bicep swivel works. Single jointed elbow. That doesn't get you quite 90 degrees. But there is a swivel there. Swivel and a hinge on the hands. And I want to point out the torso articulation for him, because for some reason he's got better articulation than the other two, than Cobra Commander and Snake Eyes. So I like that kind of back. Forward also as well, and that's not even using it in conjunction with the bottom articulation. Using it in conjunction now, that's not too bad. Forward though, it basically doesn't add much. It adds a little. There's almost no tilt at all though. And there is swivel, but I want to show this, guys, is that the belt right here is glued onto the top. So when you do swivel, it's gonna warp it. Like, I don't know why they chose this design, because yeah, you can't swivel it all the way without risk warping it. So that's a bummer. Legs split up this much. Kick forward this much. Kick back just the tiniest of tads. There is a thigh swivel, single jointed knee that gets you about 90 degrees. And the boot cut is where it's supposed to be on top of that boot. Ankles go up like this, go back like that. And there is pivot. And also be careful with this, guys. I already scuffed mine up before. So yeah, be careful how you pivot that. Now, you know, Duke was one of my favorite guys, so I'm actually happy with how he looks and kind of accept the norm of these figures that they don't have too much articulation. So I do enjoy it. But with that being said, let's do some comparisons, including Hasbro's version of Duke. And for our first comparison, which has pretty much been our control throughout this line, we got the 7-inch McFarlane Toys Joker right there on the left, and the Age of Apocalypse Sabretooth, which is on the 1/12 scale of Marvel Legends, but it's a bit on the bigger side, obviously. And when compared to Duke in this weird amalgam universe, it looks great. I mean, yeah, it looks good. And our next comparison, of course, we're gonna stand him up with a couple of Classified Series figures. We got Duke, his doppelganger, right there on the left, and we got Roadblock on the right. Now, I wanted to point out that Roadblock looks a little less fudgeable than he did with Snake Eyes and Cobra Commander. And it was bugging me at first, but then I just noticed that, here we go, when we compared all of them together, Duke's shoulders stand a little higher. I mean, it's still a little fudgeable, but you got to play with angles and all that more. Now, when comparing these two Dukes though, obviously this has a more modern take while this stays to the cartoon form. So, in my opinion, they both look dang good. And this one obviously got, more articulation, but this one just, come on, it's like that Ratatouille moment. I'm getting transported to my childhood with this figure. But anyway, let's go to the next comparison. All right, and for our final comparison, we have him sized up with a couple other figures in the same wave. We got Cobra Commander right there on the right and Snake Eyes and Timber on the left. And of course, these all together look rather dang good. So in conclusion, guys, I got into this line knowing that articulation is going to be limited. I mean, I based it straight off the look. And with that being said, did they nail the look? I think they hit it out the park. I mean, it reminds you of the cartoon. Yeah, Duke lacks a little bit of accessories, but the look is there. And for that, I do enjoy the figure. There was hit and misses during the wave, especially with Snake and Timber, especially with Timber, shall I say. But overall, I am enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to Wave 2. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you guys enjoyed the figure, I will leave a link down in the descriptions. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe. My name is Ron from Comics and Stuff, and I'll check you guys on the next episode. Peace.